Welcome back, noble heroes. We return to another session of Mythia. Our heroes just exited the area where Potjack was with Estrid and learned that Pitt has cast his sickness over the city. And now our heroes are in a race against Nightfall and Midnight in order to keep the Queen alive and perhaps save the city if they can. For now, we begin with our heroes mounting up on drakes. But first, the Drake Guard that was awakened by Juniper's cure disease is going to speak. Queen Estrid, he says, sort of a little hoarse. He says, a fleet, pirate ships. They're entering the main galleyway, he says. And the trade dock. Several of our largest freighters and a few other ships are leaving to head towards the pirate crew. It looks like we're under attack.
What?
You're going to see Estrid turn towards you all. Let us see for ourselves. She's going to mount up on her larger green drake. And it's going to screech, causing the others to respond in kind. The guards are going to mount as well, those that were cured. And the two that were not, Zarafan is going to sort of throw one of them over his shoulder and take off with him, using just his own wing power. The other one is going to be thrown over the green drake, who is large enough to carry two people at once. And there are plenty of drakes for all of you.
Hop aboard.
All right. As you hop aboard, your chaos was at 3 because of Pitt's machinations in the city, plus 1 for Potjack, so 4. And now you are on a timer. Every hour that it takes for you to solve the situation, you will gain a chaos. As each one of you mount on a drake, do you have any specifications for the type of drake that you mount up on? There are small, itty-bitty little, horse-sized drakes. And then there are huge, well-armored, heavy drakes that fly slower.
I would like a fast and agile drake.
She would like one that's small. That looks like they're also agile and can kind of come in under notice if possible.
Okay. Isaac, do you have any requests for type?
He wants a heavily armored one.
All right. There is a fat, sort of bowl-shaped drake with rather tiny wings, like a bee, and that is the one Prongor chooses.
Of course.
Incredible.
And what about you?
Whichever one's closest.
Shadow is going to come up onto adjacent to the slightly larger red drake that you get on. And the drake is going to sort of throw its wings back and lift off. And
before we take off, he's going to grab his lance out of Shadow's
holster
pouch.
You pull out the magical lance. Your blade is still at the bottom of the sewer.
Yeah.
Is Yuffie's arm done yet?
As you grab the reins, the last of the skin of your fingertips forms, and your arm is completely restored. You also gain a short rest, all of you.
Out of pure curiosity, what set of gloves were you wearing before? Were you wearing the magical ones?
I don't need magical ones, but...
You had magical ones. I was asking
The
you.
mage
So you can
hand
roll
gloves
hit dice first
that you
of all.
got in Mirban's tower.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I mean, haven't you been wearing them?
I was wearing gloves. I can't remember which ones I was wearing or if I had changed anything.
You roll hit dice for short rest, right?
You may roll hit dice. Yes, you guys gain a short rest, you gain hit dice, you gain back all your abilities that recharge on short rest. You were wearing your mundane gloves. Your right hand now no longer has a mundane glove on it.
She would keep a spare of some kind of glove. So she had the mundane, and then she had the
Magical
ones.
mage hand apprentice gloves. Do you want to put those on?
She needs a glove.
Do you wear one mage hand glove and one regular glove, or do you do both?
Not very
mage
helpful,
hand?
is it? She's going to change them out.
All right, you take off the normal glove and put
She
on the
stores it.
magical gloves.
I'm going to use Arcane Recovery during the short rest to regain my level 4 spell slot.
All right. As you all fly up into the air on the back of these varied drakes, you look out over the grand city of Bridgewalk and see, even from so far away, that there has been a lot of tenuous, almost deaths throughout the city. You see people laying haphazardly on bridges as they walked across them, almost sliding through the railings and ropes that would have kept them. And you also see, I think you probably see at least 2 bodies on rocks down in the river below. One thing that Estrid seems to, it's sort of loud on the drakes with their wings beating in time, but she's going to sort of lean over and point, and you will see movement down in the city. A DC 18 perception check could see what that movement is from.
I succeed. 21.
19.
Meek. It's from Meek. You see 2 Meeks running through the city.
And they appear to not have been struck by the illness.
Well,
It would
wouldn't
appear that way.
Yeah, while I'm flying, I'm going to hold on with one hand and use the scroll in the other and contact Hero.
Okay. You have connected. Remember, it's 1 minute of unlimited speaking.
Oh, we changed it?
Yes,
Okay. I like that so much better. Can it be back and forth?
it can.
Hero,
Juniper.
where are you?
The Outrunner.
Are you alright? Are the birds alright?
They're fine. I'm captured by pirates.
What?
I'm captured by pirates.
The Outrunner has been captured, and you are on it. Where's Dom?
We split up, he says. When I heard the explosion, he said he had something to do, and I came over towards the boat. I was worried. The birds got away, he says. I think they're on the dock.
Are the pirates okay?
He says, what do you mean?
Are they moving about as normal?
Yeah, I can hear their footsteps. They got me in Isaac's room, he says. Spellman's.
June just is like, Of course.
As you take,
She's like, Yuffie's gonna fucking flip.
you all are going to see a V-shaped pattern. Most of them are large tankards filled with either oil or other liquid supplies, as well as what looks like grain. And all of them are rushing together towards the exit to the ocean of Bridgewalk. Yuffie, you will immediately recognize the flag of the Outrunner among them. And you also see a group of about 17 ships, most of them large war galleys, coming in to the canyon. And you see them headed towards Grand Dock and Smallport.
Does it appear that they have all been commandeered by the pirates, or how many ships appear to be the actual pirate-associated ships that she would recognize?
The 17 entering right now, so the ones from Trade Dock are clearly leaving, and the other ones are coming in. The ones that are coming in are clearly the rest of Marjorie's fleet. It looks like her capital ship, her flagship, came into the city to make port, to make merry, whatever she was doing in the city at the time. And the remainder of her crew was out in the ocean waiting. And they have come in. They've come into the city. You already see one of the pirate ships has landed near Grandport. And it seems like they are intent on stealing all the ships there.
I would like to aim my Drake within 30 feet of her. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion, and an illusion of a piece of paper is going to appear in your eye. Cleby and Walks are safe. And then you're going to see her peel off on her Drake, and I'm going to go down to the docks where I think they are.
Did you send a text message?
I'm sorry? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's a limited range text message. I'm withholding the information about Hero right now because I feel that this would just cause more problems.
So she sees the Outrunner.
You do.
She
Zarfen is going to curve off after Juniper.
She'll fly up probably closer to Roland. We need to take our ship back.
What about the sick people?
Shit. I think the birds are okay. I don't know that anybody's on it. We should be fine.
I'm imagining this whole conversation screamed back and forth,
Oh yeah.
by the way.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're yelling. We be yelling.
Yep.
I've
But that's our ship.
got an idea, and I'm gonna peel down and follow after them.
Jennifer.
She's just gonna look at you like you just left me.
Yeah.
Come with us.
I'll motion. He motions to you to follow.
If you motion, she'll follow.
Yeah. So I've got an idea, and then.
Are you noticing that the peel off of the entire group?
Yeah, I follow you guys.
Estrid is going to sort of like look back towards you all. She's going to scream, "We'll meet you at the fortress!"
You see a very bright magical thumbs up.
As you peel down, you're going to see a man, sort of like bobbing a little bit, and he is laying flat and appears to be levitating towards a pile of bodies that is placed on the dock.
I'm sorry, I think I know where this is going.
As you near, and you're going to see 3 Meek carrying this one guy.
Not where it was going.
And they appear to be collecting the people on the dock and putting them in a pile, specifically. And you're also going to see a little black flit. Looks like Cleby is carrying Walks, and they're trying to get off the dock. Do you sail down towards what?
Walks and Cleby.
Cleby is going to freak out and starts clicking madly when the Drake lands in front of him for a moment. And then he's going to see you, and he's going to scream out. He says, in Hero's voice, "Guys, go! Get off the ship!"
I know, Cleby. And she's going to use her telekinesis to grab Walks and then grab Cleby.
All right. As Walks comes over towards you, he's like floating sideways. He goes, "Mama, I on road."
I know.
As both of them are lifted up by your telekinesis, Zarfen is chasing down towards you. He says, "What now?"
How far away are they?
Not far behind.
Heroes on the ship.
You said that to who?
Zarfin only. It's quiet.
You see his face turn quite grim. He nods.
But we need to deal with the plague. Obviously, we can't let Estrid fall to this.
He's going to look back up towards the incoming other allies. And he's going to quickly say, even if we were to attack them, the cannons on those ships would knock our drakes out of the sky. We'll tell them back at the fortress.
I agree. She will then, obviously holding Clevie and... By the way, that was in Celestial.
Okay, get inspiration.
Okay. I don't trust little Clevie not to repeat that conversation.
That's a good idea.
Yes, so anyway, she's going to clearly be holding the birds.
Yuki's going to try to get as close to your Drake as possible to take Clevie.
Actually, she's going to wave you off. Like, she goes, Fortress!
She's going to look back at her ship. Look at Clevie.
And she's going to get on and start flying that direction as well. She also kind of figured you'd follow even if you didn't want to if Clevie was with her.
You are correct.
Euphemia, gain inspiration.
Just going to take this guy right here.
That works. I don't know what happened to mine.
You all, now your drakes are much closer together as the two in the front have sort of waited for the others and you all sail off towards the Adamantine fortress together. When you arrive, you are going to be walking swiftly into the fortress. The door appears to be slightly ajar when you arrive, and she's going to sort of look around a bit nervously when she steps inside. And then she's going to command her guards to go and see who opened the gate. The guard will report that apparently in his last moments of falling over, one of the guards hit the lever to open the door slightly.
Oh yeah, because that would suck if we couldn't even get in.
You are going to move swiftly through the fortress, and Estrid is going to turn back towards you. The guards are going to sort of fall back to the flank, and she is going to say, "You've already awakened 5 of my guard," she says. "I need 12 people."
I can help, Yuffie says.
You can? You don't look like a cleric.
June's eyes widen as she's like, that's a pretty brilliant idea, actually.
She says, I'm definitely not a cleric, but I do have some skills.
She nods towards you. Well,
Take me to them.
one first,
Where are
she
you gonna
says.
put it?
We'll find out.
She's gonna say, does it return to them after a time limit?
Yuffie is not going to say anything about a time limit. She'll just say, it depends on if
Well,
they
she
want
would say after a time.
Okay, then fair. She'd answer, if they don't want it, it stays out.
Can you put it in something? And keep
Yuffie
it
looks
there?
a little bit like in a container.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. June wants it to study so that she can, reverse it without magic.
Rox goes, yes, as you say it.
June is actually really worried about walks right now because of the whole messenger problem within the city.
So as soon as you guys walk in the main gate and Estrid is doing this stuff, Clebe is going to sort of wiggle to be dropped.
Oh yeah, she'll put him down.
And then he's going to run up and
Wait.
grab onto your...
Is Clebe affected?
No.
Interesting.
Good.
Although she does look at him and kind of quirk her head slightly, and then nods.
Klebe is going to run up, and he's going to, grab onto your pants.
Yuffie will grab him and lift him immediately.
He's going to look at you, and he's going to open his beak, and he says, "Hey, are you guys in here?" In Hero's voice. And then he says, "I was worried about you guys with the explosion and all. It's good. I'm glad you're safe. What's that?" Footsteps. Hang on, guys. He's going to make a creaking noise and then says, "Klebe, do you know of any way out of this room?" And then you hear the little secret door in Isaac's bedroom slide away to reveal the way to your upper chamber. And he says, "All right, guys, hang on. I have to make a distraction here. You guys run, okay? As soon as I go out there, they're going to attack me, all right? Hey! Hey, you! Eat this!" Tark, tark. Poof! You hear, "Ah!" And then you hear, "Come on, Klebe, we go."
You'll see dawning horror break out across Euphemia's face.
You
no,
see
Klebe,
June.
I know, run. It's road. You hear him say.
You see June clearly close her eyes and go, "God damn it."
Clearly enough for all of us to notice.
Yeah, you notice that June knew.
She'll look at you with horror. Heroes on the ship?
Yes, I've already spoken with him. He's fine for the moment. He's in Isaac's quarters.
Your penchant for secrets is...
My dear, we are in a bit of a turmoil
Don't talk
at the
to
moment.
me like my dear, like you're condescending. I know what the stakes are, she says. We'll deal with
Then-
it later. And then she turns away. She
just
won't
looks
even
at you
look
and
at you.
shakes her head. Children. She breathes. We need to deal with the plague, and then we can get the ship back.
Estrid nods and then swiftly moves through the halls of the fortress. She is going to walk, and she's startled when several Queen's Guards come down the hallway. "Edero, you're alive?" she says. "My queen." He comes up and genuflects before her. "It was the sorcerer, ma'am," he says. "What do you mean?" she says. "He saved us from the tower." They're going to explain that when the tower fell on them, they fell into the shadows, and then he cast them away.
Those guards.
And there are 8 additional of us that have returned. What are your orders, ma'am? "Where is Nibil?" she says.
But they're not plagued?
No, they appear not to be.
Interesting. Helpful. But I don't trust it.
Trust nothing.
I don't!
They are additionally going to explain that when they were sent into the fortress, one of the clerics here cured himself when he was about to fall over to the disease, and then proceeded to cure several of them.
Good cleric.
But he is out of power at the moment. They are also going to, with some chagrin, wish that he had cured other people who could have actually helped cure other people, instead of them who cannot. If that's the case, then there's only one person that I need cured, that I cannot do without, she says. Please. She's going to look between the two of you, and if there is no visible, rage going on between the two of Yuffie and Jennifer, she is going to turn and head off in direction.
I have no idea about her, but June immediately schooled her expression and cooled down.
Yuffie looks mad, but it's a cold mad. And then she just walks off, not acknowledging at all.
Yep.
Master, what do you think happened to the duck?
Prongor, I had just stopped thinking about the duck. Please do not bring him up.
He says, "But, Master, if meeks are unaffected, then I do not believe ducks would be affected either." He seemed a
Right.
capable wizard, did he not?
He did? What are you trying to get at? Do you think he would help?
I don't know, Master. But it is often dangerous and annoying people who we have recruited before who have wound up to be the most sycophantic of followers.
You're not wrong. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until then, I hope that man has simply just left the city.
If I were a horny duck, Master, I would go to the red light district.
Amidst all this chaos, you think he would have gone there instead of just running for his life?
Well, he was on the right side of the side of the river, Master, and this only occurred 10 minutes ago, he says.
That is a good point.
And if you're looking to goose women, Master, that is a good place to do so. One of the guards is going to, turn and, look at Prongor weirdly, and Prongor is going to, look back at him. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a shame you're not next to him, because that would cheer you up a little bit.
We don't know what the duck is.
We're missing out on so much.
I guess none of you know what he's referring to. Except
You're right.
so that must sound really weird.
You all are led by the guards and Queen Estrid into a gigantic chamber. It is, as you have traveled through these halls, you see that unlike the Citadel in Garen, the Adamantine Fortress is almost purely utilitarian. It is a functional fortress filled with static gray halls, small cubby-like rooms, which you imagine house guards, perhaps, and stairwells that rise unceremoniously to higher chambers and levels. However, as you enter this room is quite different. Those of you who know anything of metallurgy know that these walls are formed of pure adamantine. Perhaps the most stable structure that is on Mythia. This place is impenetrable by any army that has existed for as long as Bridgewalk has, and has always been the seat of power for the Winter Child. And as you enter this room, you see it is a decorated, inlaid with old runic symbols from near the beginning of time. This is the throne chamber of the Winter Child, and a massive seat connected to the very floor itself rises up in a sort of sun-like crown of adamantine. And you additionally see a white and black dragon in this room, laying fitfully near a large table, and it is going to start as soon as Queen Estrid walks in. "My queen," he says. And then he looks over. "You have brought allies." He moves quickly in the direction of you all. You see that he is thinner in stature than even Shadow. He has a very narrow stomach, leading to long legs and a thin tail. It has a crown of twisted horns on his head near his ears. He speaks with a male voice. And Roland, you believe this is an eclipse breed of dragons. A rare breed derived from the union of Zosar and Sumzal. You see that half of the body is the sunny white scales of Sumzal, although the great ancestor has more of a yellowish tint to his scales. And then the other, the black, matte, slick scales of his mother, Zosar. The scales of Undeath.
His actual mother? Or
Certainly not.
descendant? Okay.
Descendant.
Just checking.
It's probably not too far away from the lineage by how distinguished the light and the black are. The longer the lineage is away from the two, the more gray you get in the center. The dragon is about 4 times larger than Shadow, and is likely an adult. You also do not see wings, which means it flies without them. A rare ability of Sumzal's kin. They are able to manipulate gravity within their vicinity in order to move. The dragon is going to look and then bend down his noble head, gracefully bowing to his queen. Ferric, where is Nibel? She says. He is here. The dragon is going to walk back over towards the table and gesture towards an Aarakocra. This one is an owl Aarakocra. He is unconscious on the table.
The Aarakocra is?
Yes.
Does he appear to be suffering from the plague?
Yes.
Really?
Huh.
A bird
See him?
person is.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating, right?
That's weird, actually. Yeah.
That is the one I need. Astrid says towards you.
She looks at Astrid and nods. All right. She approaches.
As you walk up towards the owl, you see that his eyes are open. He's going to... Greetings, dear. I seem to be in a bit of a bind.
I think I can help you.
I'm not quite sure what's happening, he says. My legs are not quite functioning as they should.
This is going to be a bit odd, she warns.
Unpleasantly odd?
Not necessarily. Just odd. But I need you to trust me.
I do, Miss Carr.
She blinks. All right. And she takes her hand and sinks it into his chest.
As soon as you do, make a con save.
We're gonna have to heal you again.
But it's not her physical body.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. When
Isn't
she
your
reaches
hand in
through
as well?
things,
Oh.
it's an incorporeal form of her hand. That's why I figured. Wait. Wait.
Oh,
Wait.
oh, yes. Thank God you're happy.
I'm a halfling.
I am a halfling. I'm putting that on a shirt.
All right, I'm just gonna roll a different
Yeah.
one.
Sorry.
Is it
I'm sorry.
worse?
Well, you can't
Worse
get worse
than
than
a
a
one?
1.
What is it?
It's a 5.
5?
I'm gonna be so mad.
As you reach your hand in, a similar touch of cold, just as the Shadow Realm was. Do you leave your hand in, or do you pull it out?
When she feels the touch of cold,
Yes.
does it feel like it's leeching?
No.
Then no.
All right. As you reach your hand into him, you are going to see a very long-lived fellow. You see probably 300 years of serving as an advisor for a throne that he considers equally as important as his children, who he only has a couple of. His name is Nibel, And his fate is that he can always read the proper names of whoever he sees. Their official title, as it were. As you reach in, you also feel the sickness. He is full of wisdom, dry, witty charisma, and a penchant for seeing how events will play out in the long run. As you grasp onto the sickness, it grasps onto you. Something enters your arm.
Can she pull her hand back?
As you pull your hand back, all of you are going to see black ink crawling down Euphemia's veins. Darkness has entered her body.
Darkness?
Correct.
Can I do anything about that? Because you're about ready to lose an arm again.
It's a foreign property, right? It's not something that I was born with or inherent to me.
That is correct.
She's going to take it the hell out of her. That's what she's going to do.
Can you?
Yes.
Roll a d20 versus the darkness.
You can do it.
You get a plus 2 to your roll.
All right.
Don't roll a 1. Or
No,
don't roll
no
a 2.
guarantees.
Darkness rolls a 13.
Ah!
This phone.
21.
Yes.
As you look down, your eyes widening, you're going to reach and grasp and pull where the darkness is several times. And in your flurry, you are going to throw what looks like black droplets of a thick liquid onto the ground from inside your own arm.
Can it be caught?
With what?
Telekinesis.
Roll a d20, roll above an 11. 11 or above.
I crit.
Ooh.
All of the droplets are ceased in their velocity just before they hit the floor and collected into a sphere. Constantly, energies of force are pushing inwards on it, and your hand is extended towards that sphere.
June is looking at you very intently.
She's looking at her hand.
As you have grasped and hurled many times away from your own arm, it appears as though whatever was in you is no longer in you. I need to roll a concentration check to make sure you held on to that disease, ma'am. DC 10.
Ah, that's no guarantee, man. Concentration?
It's
it
a
just
con
Con
save.
save.
Con save?
Yeah. So whatever your con is on that.
Shoot, was I supposed to use my inspiration before rolling?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What'd you roll?
It's a 9. I just can't win this.
As
You're just having a really
your
This is really
fingers have loosened and the coin, no, it's not a coin. Whatever it was, it felt spiny, is going to fall away. However, the Owlman was already in the event of getting up. And as you drop it, the Owlman is going to kind of like take his staff and sort of helps himself up. His staff is this white alabaster marble like substance, and it's going to rise up into a sort of fraying leaf pattern at the top. And he sort of uses that to help himself get up. As soon as you drop the thing, though, it doesn't seem to affect him at all. He's going to, like, look at you and, "Thank you," he says. "What was that?"
She looks at it, looks at him. It's clearly not going back to him, correct?
Does he seem to remember what just happened?
Yes, he
Okay,
does.
just checking.
Yeah, nothing of his demeanor suggests that he's like, "Who are you guys?"
Okay. Just making sure he wasn't being mind controlled.
This is important.
He is going to say, as he looks at it, he's going to sort of approach from about 4 feet away and sort of look down his beak at the darkness floating there in a sphere. He says,
She is pulling it to herself, by the way.
Perhaps this was the reason my legs were not functioning, he says.
It felt like the Shadow Realm, she says.
Where it is from, I imagine, he suggests towards you.
When did you have contact with the darkness?
He says, I didn't.
She's kind of got a look on. Clearly, something otherwise happened, even if you don't remember it.
Is going to move forward. By the heavens, he says, looking out at the darkness. It's the agent. It's how it spread.
What do you mean?
He is going to look towards you. A normal sickness isn't this fast. It isn't this controlled. You can do 2 things to a sickness to make it this virulent. 1, you combine it with necrotic energies, turn the virus undead. 2, you combine it with darkness. That's why everyone's paralyzed. The darkness can't function in the sunlight.
But when
The sun goes down.
The darkness will try to take them over, like it did to walks. It will turn them into zombies until they're dead, and then they'll become darklings.
So we don't have until midnight.
Perhaps that's when the effect will take place.
Perhaps.
I don't know. We need to study this more.
Yeah.
This darkness right here is the key. In it lies the answers to how this virus works.
As well as the runes.
He nods.
Runes.
The
There
ones
have been-
placed around the city, Nebel says. I assume they were the trigger for this virus.
They're the DNA structure for the virus.
His pit's still within the city limits, he says. Can we use ferric? He looks up towards the dragon.
I don't know.
We may not have much of a choice, my queen. We are running out of options. What is our move? That is what we are here to discuss, Estrid says. All of you calm down and sit. We must plan.
June pulls the darkness, and it's kind of floating above her hand as she sets a spin on it as she's looking at it.
The orb is very small, less than the size of a marble. This amount could easily flow about the bloodstream without much effect. Go ahead and roll a knowledge check, religion, please. No, Arcana. I lied.
She looks at Isaac and says, "Will you please aid me with your gifts?"
Of course.
And does Wraith actually aid?
Yes.
Want to roll the d4 or shall I?
You go ahead.
Thank gods. Okay. So 28.
28?
Yes.
All right. So, it is as Zarafan suggested. The virus is been infused with darkness. That is both its means of virulence and the way that it spread so quickly.
Did the lesser restoration spell clear the darkness from the people?
Because it is infused with a virus, the Lesser Restoration spell would dispel the darkness in addition.
Okay, good. Because I was getting ready to ask if you would try to fish it out of Prongor, but you don't have to.
Does it last?
What?
Once you are cured of the virus, can you be reinfected?
Probably. Am I right?
Your guess would be that the initial virus was airborne. Once it got in the system, the virus itself drew a little bit of energy from the Shadow Realm to draw some darkness into the person. Once it's gotten to that point where it is effect. It's in effect. Whatever Pit did probably activated it. It's no longer contagious.
Gotcha. But what if what she did happened? Could she have contracted it again?
If she pulls the darkness out.
Well, if she hadn't caught the darkness.
So the darkness is always going to attack her
Oh, okay.
once she enters into it.
But the virus wouldn't continue.
The virus won't do anything to her. The virus has nothing to do with that.
Okay, in which case she would say no.
The darkness will attack her again if she tries to put her hand inside something with darkness in it.
Okay. She goes,
But perhaps precautions could be taken against
yeah,
that.
she's going to tell her. She goes, no, I don't believe that you could be reinfected. However, if you continue with the method we were doing, you're going to be continuously attacked by the darkness.
It wasn't terribly pleasant.
No, it's not.
It's possible we could make a powerfully bright light of heaven to shine upon her, so that when she draws her hand forth, it burns away.
What if the glove she's using is infused with radiant energy?
That could work, he says. But I'm not sure we can do it to these cloth gloves.
I was getting ready to say, didn't you have magical gloves Mirabin had, but you don't have those on your person?
She actually
Yes,
is
she
wearing
does.
them
She's
right
wearing.
now.
You got them out?
She'll
Yeah.
She exchanged.
she goes-
because she only had the one glove, so she needed her pair.
Ah. She goes, those were enchanted by Mirabin. Do you think that would help? So they've been magically reinforced already. Admittedly, they're not
Shoddy.
of great quality.
You're going to see Zarfen think, and you know his calculation is he can do it. He's trying to think if he can explain the process to Isaac.
Does he need to?
He only has a certain amount of light of heaven. He's got 22 points left. If every one of those is a day he can spend on Mythia. He has already expended 7 of them in the process of what he's done. Every time he does something additional with his light of heaven powers, he expends his own light. That's why his feathers are falling away.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he will have no wings, and he'll become
Yes.
a landbound, a fallen angel. And he would become mortal at that point. So he is figuring out whether or not, basically, he's going to try to explain to Isaac, or if that's not worth it, he should just expend the cost himself.
She's going to suggest explaining this to Isaac. And she goes, I think, Isaac, you could probably do it.
He turns towards you. Isaac, when you studied the way of the light of heaven, he says, how long ago do you remember your lessons?
My studies were for most of my upbringing. I don't think I've forgotten much.
I suppose, he says, I'm referring to your childhood pursuits. He seems to suggest that your teenager studies would not be helpful in this process.
Well, Isaac was referring to all of that, but then also him studying to be a cleric as an adult, which was not that long ago.
Right, but you sort of took a different path upon becoming a death cleric.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like, most of your tutelage of, like, how to heal and all of your radiant powers were from, like, when you were an acolyte.
She's going to hold up a finger and she goes, could he also supply energy?
You're going to see that you sort of put him in an awkward position. Religious-wise, paladins are sort of the brute force warriors of radiant energy. They're not really, like,
Yeah, but they can
clerical.
kind of be, batteries. No offense.
Roland could expend his own spell slots to provide the spell slot required for the process. But Isaac has more spell slots than Roland does.
Gotcha.
Zarfan, if it makes you feel any better, I did just brush up on my skills by using the light of heaven to knock out Potjack back there. I've had a bit of a refresher.
He's going to smile in a way that suggests that using the light of heaven to knock someone out isn't exactly a refresher on how to use it to heal people.
Hey.
used it in the complete opposite intended way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but at least you connected with the light, so that
All right,
works, right?
Zarafin is going to come over and try to explain what he needs you to do as far as the religious proceduring. He rolls his own religion check. Okay.
Can I aid?
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
no, I was using it for healing because I healed Potjack of his mental shackles, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
There you
We're gonna go
go
with that was also kind of brute force, like the paladin. Just saying.
Yeah.
You need to roll a DC 13 religion check to understand the complexities of what he's asking you to do.
Can
Please.
Juniper assist me?
Yes, of course. Also, do guidance on yourself. So June will aid you.
It's okay. I crit.
Oh.
Sick. That's awesome.
24 total.
Okay, awesome.
Good thing you had that refresher.
Yes. Refresher.
Refresher, yeah.
As you all are walking in, or I'm sorry, as you all are watching Zarafin sort of speak, and Estrid is speaking with her advisors, Roland, you are going to see a woman walk into the room. She seems like she's not 100% sure she's supposed to be here. Juniper, describe Annalise as a human.
Okay. She appears to be in her mid-30s. She is a thin woman with kind of very light brown, kind of sandy brown hair. It's worn in, like, she has a few braids that lead to a bun in the back of her head. And she has a pair of half-moon spectacles that she wears on her nose. She is probably wearing wizard robes right now. And she is also carrying a godmother wand. Well, I don't know. She's probably not right now.
She is followed by 2 guards. Queen Estrid, this godmother has sought access to the Adamantine fortress, he says. She's going to sort of look upon the crowd. Greetings, Queen Estrid. The godmothers wish to aid you in this process, she says. Queen Estrid is going to look over towards you. Welcome. Your name? Annalise, she says. She's going to sort of walk up. Juniper, greetings, she says.
Greetings, sister.
She's going to look between you and Zarafin.
June doesn't look as though she's surprised at all to see her. She looks like this is completely normal and that she expected her to arrive. You arrived just in time. You can help.
Roland, what are you up to as Isaac is getting this tutelage and the godmothers and the angels seem to be planning? Shadow is... Did you spend hit dice?
Yeah.
Alright. She is at 70 hit points in total.
Can I spend hit dice for her? Does
No,
she have hit
she
dice?
does not have hit dice.
Does she just gain her health
She
back
restores
after
her hit points in the Shadow Realm.
Oh, that's right. I just don't know if I feel okay with her going back to the Shadow Realm right now. Is it safe?
You don't know.
Yeah, I see. I feel like she needs to just hang out above ground. Roland is pretty mad right now. He wants to go out and fight, and he feels pretty useless right here. The only reason he's here right now is because you had to be here, because you had shit to do. If there was no thing that you were having to do here, he was going to grab you in the hallway and say, let's go to the ship right now and get Hero. And that's all he wants to do right now is go fight. There's nothing that feels like he can even
The
contribute.
moment that you say that to her, the
Wait,
guards.
you said that?
Oh, did you not say that?
No, I was just telling you this is how Roland,
Okay.
like, Roland looks like a foot tapping. He's holding it, he's pacing a little bit, he's twirling his lance like he wants to.
He's more emotional
He's
than
Darth,
he's been forever.
He's Darth Maul pacing, waiting for Obi-Wan right now. Like, he's bored and bummed and wants to go fight.
Euphemia would probably approach him if he's looking like that.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we have Western Fae. She is in need of healing, he says. Are you able to perform that task?
Perhaps in a moment.
He nods. He looks over towards you. Whoa, what about you, sir?
I can't. Because I got my spell slots back, didn't I?
No.
In the short rest? No,
No.
I can't then.
If you give us a moment.
All right, Isaac, you crit. You have had the process explained to you. So the question is, you are going to have to expend a second level equivalent spell slot in order to do this. But it will last for an hour if you do so. A magical protective shield on Euphemia's gloves that would destroy any darkness that touched it. In addition to the spell slot, you must make a DC 12 religion check when you do so, or the spell will fail and you will waste it.
Can I upcast it using a higher spell slot?
Yes.
Make it last longer? Okay.
You will gain a half an hour for every spell slot higher than 2.
Okay, I'm going to cast it as level 4 to give her an extra hour.
All right?
May I be aided?
Sure. Although, Zarthan probably be
Yes,
better.
you may. And you are.
You did say religion, right?
Yes.
My religion's pretty high.
16.
Yay.
Hey.
As Isaac comes over, he is clearly performing some kind of complicated lattice with this light that's shining from between his fingers like puppet strings. And then he's going to sort of like lay them over you like he's making a cat's cradle on your hand. As soon as those net between your fingers and all over your palm and the back of your hand is now glowing like you've put a big bright light bulb inside of it. You're done, Isaac. You say anything?
He stares down at his hands and then your now glowing hands for a moment and says, I think it worked.
Are they going to stay lit up like this? She asks.
I think you have but a few hours, so start working fast.
It'll dim as time goes on, Zarfan says. That'll show you when it becomes less effective.
I need a sample of the plague. So the moment you get one, I need to put it in a container.
Did you want to provide it or come with?
Keep that darkness. We'll need to combine the sample of the plague that she gets without darkness and the darkness you already possess in order to make the full plague.
I'm aware. I have a plan.
He's going to turn. Are you all right? Zarfan says towards Roland.
No.
Ready for battle?
Yes. He's hard, like messing with his hands whenever he's not.
Do you know
gripping
any
his hands.
allies we could gain in the city? Someone who isn't close to human. Or
Do
other
I?
paladins, perhaps.
Do I?
No, you don't.
No, I've only been here a couple times.
All right. So, with no allies at the moment to speak of, save for what is in this grand chamber, our heroes consider their options to overcome the plague as 1 hour has already passed and a chaos is gained. The city of Bridgewalk hangs in the balance. Thank you for joining us, noble heroes. We really appreciate that you've come to watch. Please give us a like and a subscribe. Comment down below. Tell us what you think about this episode. And do try this at home.